Hi, I'm Ken Pfalzgraf, candidate for the AADUSD Unified School District Board of Trustees. I'm making these videos so you, the taxpayer and voter, can learn where I stand on the issues, and hopefully you can vote for me with confidence on November 8th. Today's subject is Charter Schools Part 2, Taxpayer-Funded Turf Wars. If you go to my website, AADUSD.com, you'll find a link to other videos I've made, including Part 1, where I gave an overview of charters, how they start up, how they're approved, and how they're funded. So look at that, and then also see my video on transparency in education. I'd really like you to see that one. Anyway, moving on to today. I want to introduce my special guest. I have a special guest, isn't that great? The Colonel. You all know the Colonel. Why did I bring the Colonel in? Because I've been walking around town and talking to people and seeking votes, and people say to me sometimes, "Hey Pfalzgraf, you're making a lot of noise about this charter school thing. Why are you doing that? Things are great right now. We're drowning in money." And I'm thinking, well, we weren't a couple of years ago, and when you're not drowning in money, and in fact when you're in a deficit of money, your programs suffer, and I think some of those kids that went through that, maybe they needed some things right then that they didn't get, and they're still in our system, and that affected them. So I'm not big on the mania of the money. My role on the school board is going to make sure that the stuff that's feeding our success now is going to still be there later. So, real quickly here, Colonel, we're going to beat you in a little bit. I want to remind everybody, for every one student that comes into the district, you're going to gain about $8,500. Every one student that leaves and goes somewhere else, whether it would be to economic conditions or downturn in the economy, predatory lending, not being able to get water, young couples, no affordable housing, all that kind of thing, those are things that the school district really can't do anything about. But hopefully we've got a program full of enrichments and things that they make us compatible with other people, so we can retain our students based on the brand and quality of our school district. So that said, if you lose 10 students, that's $85,000. If you lose 100 students, that's $850,000. That's a lot of money, and when you start pulling that kind of money out of your program, the enrichments are the first things to go. The world languages, support for music and the arts and all that type of thing. And thankfully we have the community groups that fill in that blank during the bad times. But anyway, moving along. Just remember, one kid, $8,500. Now, typically nowadays, charter schools follow three models. First one is students or teachers at let's call two local schools in the district. They're both running. There's one over here that's closed down and being used for storage, but we won't talk about that right now. Maybe someday a church group or someone will come in and offer to clean that up, so it can be used as an educational venue, not storage. But anyway, someone comes along and says, I want to service a group of kids that we haven't been able to service as well as we should be. Maybe they're an immersion group, maybe they're a vocational group, maybe they want to be welders, or there's supposed to be a welding truck, or something like that. Whatever these people petition, the school board looks at it and says, you know what, that makes sense, your petition is legal, and yeah, let's open up a charter school. Well, in charter schools, the school gets 97% of the funding, and the sponsoring district gets 3%. So, when 100 kids leave here and go here, and 100 kids leave here, that's potentially about $1.6 million. So, but since this charter is sponsored by the district itself, who would get 3% administration fee, and the charter would get 97%, well, that's still 100%. It all stays home, and hopefully you're not building another building or something when this one's right here. But anyway, the virtual, in reality, the cost effect is zero. Everything stays the same. Number two is kind of similar to this, except someone else comes in and says, I want to open a charter here. maybe that's not attractive because you know the same 100 kids might go here, from here, and another 100 here. So you've got the same thing, but in this scenario, because you sponsor these people, and if you don't, and they appeal to the County Office of Education or even the State Department of Education, and it's found that they are legal, you'll end up sponsoring them anyway. But instead of getting 1.6 for these kids, you only get 3%. Now, this can cause a tailspin in the district because remember back in the old days when you couldn't provide the enrichments and you couldn't provide this and that just because you were struggling to maintain even the basics, this can send you into another loop. And so, you want to remember that these 100 kids, no one's forcing them to go there, so that's their choice. Now, number 3 is kind of an odd one because instead of having 2 schools, yeah, and you still got this one over here, but we won't worry about that. I actually closed one of my schools. And again, someone else, like in number 2, comes in from the outside and says, I want to sponsor a charter, and you know what, I'm not going to build a school. I'm going to put my school in your own old school that you closed because you're going to give me all your kids. And so, all those kids go to the new charter, and I don't just open up one charter here, I open up 3 in the same building, or 2, and charter law says if you don't have enough room in your school to house all the kids that want to go to your charter, you can open up 1 outside of your district boundary. So I got another school district over here, and another school district over here, and one way over here that you can't see because it's so far away. Oh, there it is, okay. Yeah. And so, but in this deal, a lot of kids in these areas, because the demographics are very different, there's a lot of people here. They want to go to your charter school, and there's 500 here, and there's 500 here, and there's 500 way over here, in binocular land. And so, you end up taking 3% off of all of these. You don't have the operating cost on the school you gave away. Some of the teachers that used to work there, since they're not a district school anymore, they may have had to go over here and bump people off. Or so your cost on your highest tenured teachers goes down. Your facilities cost goes down. In fact, now you're charging these new people rent, and you're probably serving as a consultant to them and offering them even more services. I'm not sure how this works because where were all these kids before in scenario 1? Why weren't they coming here? And what does the charter school have to offer that the brand up here doesn't? And so, this one, I wouldn't bank my future on this one. But, what's that? I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, it's a Colonel. Okay, what do you want? Okay, yeah. Okay, the Colonel wants to know how you guys like his new tasty menu. Well, I can't speak for you, but I can speak for me. Number 1 looks okay. Colonel, another success for you. Number 2, I don't know. Doesn't look good for the local students, except the ones that go to the charter. Number 3, I think you blew it there, Colonel. I don't know what your recipe is. You don't share it. I don't understand your recipe. And this one, number 3, it's got like a bad taste of lawyers, and it's kind of, there's an overpowering lawsuit, and in the end, you're left with an aftertaste of fiscal instability. I don't know, Colonel, go back to the drawing board on that one. In the end, guys, the secret message here is this. If you lose 1 kid to another school, and you involve yourself in number 3, at 3% of the cut, you have to sponsor 27 kids to replace that 1 that you couldn't keep locally. Now, I'm not a believer in sponsoring or using funds that are coming from faces that I have to use these to see that I'll never know. So I don't find this too stable. This is the model that Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District is in right now. So in the next video, we'll talk specifically about what that has done in terms of how Acton Agua Dulce is seen in the educational marketplace. So again, I'm Ken Pfalzgraf. I hope you'll visit my website to catch these other videos. I'm at kpaadusd.com. Once again, kpaadusd.com. When you watch these videos, subscribe. You'll be automatically notified if there's a new one. Share them, comment on what they are, and like them. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.